CD 3. Unit 9, Tape Script 9.1. The Bear and the Travellers. 1.
Where were the travellers walking?
Along a country road.
2.
Why were they going to the city?
Because they were looking for work.
3.
What did they see in the woods?
They saw a huge bear.
4.
What did the men do?
One hid in a tree, the other pretended to be dead.
5.
What did the bear do?
It bent down, sniffed, then wandered away.
Tape Script 9.2. The Bear and the Travellers.
2 travellers were walking slowly along a country road. They were going to the city because they were looking for work. They were tired because they had walked 20 miles, and they were hungry because they hadn't eaten all day. Suddenly, in the woods in front of them, they saw a huge bear. The men were terrified. One of them ran away, climbed a tree, and hid. The other man fell to the ground and pretended to be dead. He had heard that bears don't like eating dead meat. The bear came towards him. It bent down, sniffed him, and whispered something in his ear. Then it wandered away. After the bear had gone, the other man came down from his tree and went to see how his friend was. He wanted to know what the bear had said to him.
The bear gave me some advice,
said his companion.
He said, next time you go on a journey, travel with someone who won't leave you at the first sign of danger.
The moral of this story is, choose your friends carefully.
Tape Script 9.3. Questions and Answers. 1.
Why were the travellers tired?
Because they had walked 20 miles.
2.
Why were they hungry?
Because they hadn't eaten all day.
3.
Why did one of them pretend to be dead?
Because he had heard that bears don't like eating dead meat.
4.
When did the other man come down from the tree?
After the bear had gone.
5.
What did he want to know?
He wanted to know what the bear had said to his friend.
Tape Script 9.4. Pronunciation. 1.
They'd walked 20 miles.
2.
One man hid in a tree.
3.
The other pretended to be dead.
4.
When the bear had gone, the man came down.
5.
He felt bad because he'd left his friend.
Tape Script 9.5. 1.
I was nervous on the plane because I'd never flown before.
2.
When I'd had breakfast, I went to work.
3.
I met a girl at a party. Her face was familiar. I was sure I'd seen her somewhere before.
4.
I felt tired all day yesterday because I hadn't slept the night before.
5.
My wife was angry with me because I'd forgotten our anniversary.
6.
The little girl was crying because she'd fallen over and hurt herself.
Tape Script 9.6. The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Once upon a time, there was a shepherd boy who looked after the sheep in the hills near his village. He thought his job was very boring. One day, while he was sitting under a tree, he had an idea. He decided to have some fun. So he went down to the village and shouted, "Wolf! Wolf!" at the top of his voice. As soon as the villagers heard the boy, they stopped work and raced to the hills to help him. But when they got there, they saw nothing. They returned to their work. After they'd gone, the shepherd boy smiled to himself. A few days later, the boy did the same thing again. He ran into the village and shouted, "Wolf! Wolf!" The villagers didn't know whether to believe him or not, but they were worried about their sheep, so they had to help him. They went back to the hills. Again, there was no wolf. They were angry because the shepherd boy had lied again. But he just laughed. Then, the next day, just as the sun was setting, a wolf really did appear, and it began attacking the sheep. In terror, the boy raced down the hill to the village, shouting, "Wolf! Wolf!" Although the villagers heard his cries, they did nothing to help. This time they really didn't believe him. The shepherd boy climbed back up the hill to look for the sheep, but the wolf had killed them all. He was so ashamed of himself that he sat down in the moonlight and cried. The moral of this story is, you should not lie. A liar will not be believed, even when he tells the truth.
Tape script 9.7. Discussing grammar. 1.
When I'd done my homework, I went to bed.
2.
After I'd driven 200 miles, I stopped for a coffee.
3.
As soon as she'd passed her driving test, she bought a car.
4.
I didn't go to Italy until I'd learned Italian.
5.
Although I'd read the book, I didn't understand the film.
6.
His mother sent him to bed because he'd been naughty.
7.
She'd burnt the food, so we went out to eat.
8.
She cooked a lovely supper, but unfortunately, I'd eaten a large lunch.
Tape script 9.8. My favourite writer.
Tom, you chose Charles Dickens as your favourite writer. Can you tell us a little about him? When was he alive?
He wrote in the 19th century. He was born in England in 1812 and died in 1870.
What did he write? What sort of books?
He wrote novels and short stories.
And tell us, why is he famous?
At the time he was writing, there was a lot of inequality between the rich and the poor. Dickens wanted to change society. He wrote about people who were poor and hungry or ill, or who were unfortunate in some way. Dickens created some of the most famous characters in English literature.
What are his best-known books?
There are quite a few, but possibly David Copperfield, which has a lot of autobiography in it, and Oliver Twist, and after that, A Christmas Carol. In this book, we meet a character called Scrooge.
Ah, the man who hated Christmas.
That's right. At the beginning of the story, Scrooge is a miserable character who refuses to spend any money to help his poor family. But by the end, he is a changed man, kind, generous, and full of love for people around him.
What was Dickens' personal life like?
A mix of good and bad. His parents were poor. Dickens became very rich. He married and had 10 children.
10?
Yes, but he left his wife because he fell in love with an actress. He didn't get divorced. In those days, it was impossible. Absolutely out of the question. So there was a lot of sadness in his life.
Oh dear. Poor Mr. Dickens.
Tape script 9.9. My favourite writer.
Now, Alice, you chose Robert Louis Stevenson. Tell us about him. When was he writing?
Well, he was born in 1850 and he died in 1894, so he was writing just after Dickens, in the second half of the 19th century.
And what did he write?
He wrote novels and poetry, and he was also a travel writer.
Oh, quite a lot. Tell us, why is he famous?
Well, he isn't as famous as Dickens, but he's very popular because he's a great storyteller. His stories are about adventure, danger and horror. His heroes are pure and his villains are dark.
What are his best-known books?
There's a children's book called Treasure Island, and there's a travel story about going around France, but the most famous is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
And they, I suppose, are his most well-known characters.
Yes, the book was an immediate success. It's about a man who has two sides to his character, one good and one bad. The man, Dr. Jekyll, has a battle inside himself between his good side and his evil side.
This is the psychological idea of someone with a split personality?
Yes. In everyday speech, we say about someone, "Oh, he's a real Jekyll and Hyde," meaning there are two sides to their personality.
Fascinating. Tell us about his personal life.
As a child, he was often ill. He married an American woman who had children from an earlier marriage, but they didn't have any children together. He travelled a lot to Europe and the United States. He died very young, when he was just 44.
Oh, well, thank you, Alice, for telling us about Robert Louis Stevenson.
Tape script 9.10. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. London, 1886. One.
Late one night, a lawyer, Gabriel Utterson, was walking home through dark, silent streets when he saw a man attacking a woman. Utterson ran after him and caught him. The man's name was Mr. Hyde, and he looked ugly and evil.
Two.
Mr. Hyde showed no regret for what he had done. To buy the woman's silence, he wrote her a cheque.
Give this to the wretch.
Utterson noticed that the cheque was signed in the name of Dr. Jekyll, a well-known and well-respected man.
Three.
Utterson was worried. He was Dr. Jekyll's lawyer and also his friend. He went to visit him. As soon as he mentioned Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll turned pale and became angry.
My position is very strange. I cannot explain.
Utterson was confused. Who was Mr. Hyde?
Four.
A year passed. One night, An old man was murdered as he was walking home. A maid witnessed the crime and recognized the killer. Mr. Hyde had struck again. The police went looking for Hyde, but he had disappeared.
Five.
Again, Utterson went to visit his friend Dr. Jekyll. He suspected that Dr. Jekyll had helped Mr. Hyde to escape. When questioned, the doctor replied in a strange, wild voice that Mr. Hyde had gone forever.
Hyde will never return!
6.
Over the next few weeks, Dr. Jekyll's behaviour became more and more unusual. He locked himself in his laboratory and refused to open the door. His servants were worried. When they heard his voice, it sounded different.
Go away and leave me alone.
Was that my master's voice?
They asked Utterson for help.
Seven.
Utterson and the servants broke down the door. Mr. Hyde was lying dead on the floor.
It's Mr. Hyde!
No, it's Dr. Jekyll!
He had taken poison. But why was he wearing Dr. Jekyll's clothes? And where was the doctor? Were Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde one and the same person?
Eight.
On the desk was a letter addressed to Mr. Utterson. In it, Dr. Jekyll tried to explain himself. He said he believed that inside every human being there was a good side and an evil side.
9.
Jekyll had created a potion. When he drank it, his whole body changed.
God help me!
I'm changing.
The good, kind doctor became cruel, ugly, and evil. He called this other man Mr. Hyde. To change back, he had to drink another potion.
Ten.
But after a time, Jekyll found that he liked changing into Mr. Hyde. He enjoyed being bad. He became more and more violent and cruel.
Take that! And
that! He took pleasure in hurting innocent people.
11.
Finally, Dr. Jekyll couldn't control Mr. Hyde anymore. He began to change into this monster, even without taking the potion. Jekyll hoped and prayed that Hyde would disappear.
God help me!
But Hyde always returned. The potion to turn Hyde back into Dr. Jekyll no longer worked. It had lost its strength. Dr. Jekyll could no longer get rid of the evil Mr. Hyde. He had to kill this monster. But to kill Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll also had to die.
I can live in this world no more.
Tape script 9.11. 1,
I was delighted because I'd won £1,000 in a competition.
2,
I was stressed because I had 10 bills and no money to pay them.
3,
I was proud because I'd worked so hard and passed all my exams.
4,
I was amazed because my teachers didn't expect me to pass.
5,
I was upset because no one remembered my birthday.
Tape script 9.12. 1,
Sometimes I feel really lonely.
Cheer up. You've got me. I'm your best friend.
2,
I've got so much to do. Oh, and the baby's crying. Help!
Calm down. You're so stressed. Chill out.
3,
Guess what? I've just won £10,000.
That's fabulous! I'm delighted for you. Can I have some?
4,
When I watch the news on TV, I get scared.
I know what you mean. The world's a scary place.
5,
I get upset when people are so horrible.
Yes, but people can be really nice as well.
Tape script 9.13.
What an amazing film.
I was scared.
I was really scared.
I was so scared.
Tape script 9.14.
I was so surprised.
It was such a shock.
It was such an awful day.
You have such crazy ideas.
We had such terrible weather.
There were so many problems.
I've got so much work.
Tape script 9.15. 1,
That was such a good book. You must read it. I'll lend it to you. You'll really like it.
2,
The film was so scary that I couldn't watch it. I hate the sight of blood and people killing each other.
3,
Jane and Pete are such nice people. They're always so welcoming and pleased to see you.
4,
But their children are so badly behaved. The parents have no control at all.
5,
There were so many people at the party. I didn't manage to talk to everyone.
6,
They made such a mess. I'm glad I didn't have to tidy up.
7,
I've spent so much money this week. I haven't got a penny left.
8,
I've had such an awful day. I need a drink to cheer me up.
Unit 10. Tape script 10.1. A phone call that changed the world.
Fact file. Today, mobile phones are owned by almost 6 billion people worldwide. In the UK, 30 million are sold every year. The first text message was sent in 1989. Last year, 6.1 trillion texts were sent worldwide. Camera phones have been sold since 2002. Smartphones were introduced in 2007. The mobile phone had become a multimedia gadget. Over the years, a multitude of amazing features have been added, including internet browsing, email, MP3 players, video and camera. In 2008, Apple's iPhone had 500 applications, apps. Now there are over 500,000 apps. The most expensive mobile is the Gold Striker iPhone 4S Elite Gold. It is made of 24-karat gold and decorated with over 550 diamonds. It costs £6 million. 100 million mobile phones are thrown away every year. Some people believe that before long, all landline telephones will be replaced by mobile phones.
Tape script 10.2. 1.
The first mobile phone call was made in 1973 by Martin Cooper.
2.
Mobile phones are owned by almost 6 billion people worldwide.
3.
30 million phones are sold in the UK every year.
4.
Camera phones have been sold since 2002.
5.
A lot of amazing features have been added.
6.
The Gold Striker phone is decorated with over 550 diamonds.
7.
100 million mobile phones are thrown away every year.
8.
Some people believe that eventually all landline telephones will be replaced by mobile phones.
Tape script 10.3. 1.
Paper was invented in 105 AD by a Chinese government official called Tsai Lun.
2.
The printing press was invented in 1440 by a German printer called Johannes Gutenberg.
3.
The telephone was invented in 1876 by Alexander Graham Bell. Bell was born in Scotland, but he moved to America and became a scientist and a teacher of the deaf.
4.
The radio was invented in 1901 by Guglielmo Marconi, an Italian physicist.
5.
Television was invented in 1924 by a Scottish engineer, John Logie Baird.
6.
The ballpoint pen was invented in 1938 by the Hungarian journalist Laszlo Biro.
7.
The Apple PC was invented in 1976 by two American computer engineers, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. The name Apple was chosen because it was Jobs' favorite fruit.
Tape script 10.4. All things online. 1.
Over 90 trillion emails are sent every year.
2.
Nearly 5.5 billion questions are answered by Google every day.
3.
eBay was invented in 1995 by Pierre Omidyar, a French scientist.
4.
Nearly 5 billion items have been sold on eBay since it began.
5.
60,000 new video films are posted on YouTube every week.
6.
The first Twitter message was sent by American businessman Jack Dorsey in 2006.
7.
Facebook has been translated into 76 languages since it began.
8.
The online store Amazon.com was founded by Jeff Bezos in his garage in 1994.
Tape script 10.5. Questions and answers. 1.
How many emails are sent every year?
Over 90 trillion. Isn't that amazing?
2.
How many questions are answered by Google every day?
Nearly 5.5 billion. It's incredible.
3.
When was eBay invented?
In 1995,
Who was it invented by?
a French scientist called Pierre Omidyar.
4.
How many items have been sold on eBay since it began?
5 billion. Actually, 5 billion and 1. I've just bought something.
5.
How many films are posted on YouTube every week?
60,000 new videos every week.
6.
When was the first Twitter message sent?
In 2006,
Who was it sent by?
an American businessman called Jack Dorsey.
7.
How many languages has Facebook been translated into?
76, and there'll be more.
8.
When was Amazon.com founded?
In 1994,
Who was it founded by?
Jeff Bezos.
Tape script 10.6.
Text message. Businessman. Newsagent. Cell phone.
Tape script 10.7.
Business card. Business deal. Businessman. Business news. Computer games. Computer program. Computer virus. Laptop. Phone call. Phone card. Phone number. Radio news. Radio program. Radio waves. Website.
Tape script 10.8. 1.
She has a wonderful job. She's very well paid.
2.
I didn't enjoy that novel. It was really badly written.
3.
You don't need to spend a lot of money on clothes to look well dressed.
4.
Our office is really well equipped. We have all the latest machines.
5.
I hope their children don't come. They're so badly behaved.
6.
Can I have my steak very well done, please? I don't like it rare.
7.
Surely you've heard of Elizabeth Taylor. She was really well known.
Tape script 10.9. 1.
Do you ever play computer games?
No, but my nephew does, all the time.
2.
Which websites do you visit most often?
Google, Wikipedia, and BBC Recipes. I get all my recipes online now.
3.
Do you send a lot of text messages?
I do. It's a great way to make arrangements. I text all the time.
4.
Who does the most housework in your home?
Not me. My mum always says, "Oh, I'll do it. You're so slow."
5.
What size shoes do you take?
36. We've got small feet in our family.
6.
How do you like your steak?
I like it rare. I don't like it well done.
7.
Is your school well equipped?
Not really, but I think we're getting interactive whiteboards soon.
Tape script 10.10. 1. Henry.
It's made for me. I'm a frustrated writer. One day maybe I'll write a novel. I write about my thoughts, my work, all my travels, and I've even written a kind of work biography. I'm so pleased that I have so many visitors and comments. I feel in touch with the world. I tweet too.
2. Sandy.
Yeah, I have an account and I go on it fairly often. I like sharing photos with friends. I love seeing their photos too, and it's a nice way of keeping up to date with them and sometimes making contact with old friends. I don't use it for anything more. Some people communicate a lot about their lives on it. I couldn't do that.
3. Liz.
Actually, it was a terrible shock. I went back to my machine and the screen was bright purple with large red letters across it saying warning. Everything was completely frozen. I rang the helpline and they said they'd had over 50 calls from people with the same thing. It had even infected the stock exchange. Who are the sad individuals who do this, I want to know.
4. Martin.
There aren't many left in my town. Just one, I think, on the high street. It's because so many people have home computers and laptops these days, and there are more and more places where you can access the internet. I used them a lot when I was travelling.
5. Barry.
I do so much online. I think I conduct most of my life online. I book everything. Cinema, travel, my sports club. I shop online, clothes, food, presents. I check symptoms if I'm ill. Actually, I've stopped doing this because I got too frightened by the answers. I download recipes. I could go on and on. I like the way Google has become a verb. I'm always saying, I'll just Google that and find out.
Tape script 10.11. It drives me crazy.
Hi, Jack. Over here. How was your journey?
Oh, not good. Not good at all.
Why was that?
Well, there was this girl in the seat behind, and she was talking loudly on her mobile phone the whole journey. I know everything about her life. I even know what she's going to wear when she goes out on Saturday night. And I know what she's not going to wear.
That drives me mad too. You know, not long ago, trains had quiet carriages where you couldn't use your mobile phone.
Well, they don't anymore. I couldn't read my paper with her yakking behind me. She told the same thing to at least 4 friends.
Oh.
Then I had this kid opposite me with his mother.
What was he doing to annoy you?
He had one of these mini computer things.
A Game Boy?
Yeah, one of those. And he was head down playing this thing all the time. Zing, ping, bang. All those noises coming from it. He never looked up once. When his mum asked him to say hello, he just grunted. So impolite.
I know. Kids these days, they're so badly behaved. Did you book your ticket online this time?
I tried to.
What happened?
Well, I followed the instructions one by one and got right to the end, and it asked me for my password. Password? I didn't know I had one for train travel, so I thought, OK, I'll ring instead.
Maybe not the best idea.
No. So I rang the train company, and of course I got the usual recorded message. You know the type of thing. I'm afraid all our operators are busy at the moment. Then music and thank you for holding. I'm afraid our operators are still busy. And more music. So I gave up. I bought a ticket at the station.
It drives you mad, doesn't it? Life's too short to spend so long on the phone. Still, I usually do enjoy travelling by train.
Me too. Usually. It's better than driving. I hate driving into town these days. There's too much traffic. It's just jam after jam, and it's impossible to find a parking space. Parking's a nightmare, and car parks and parking meters are so expensive.
I know. I remember when you could park all day for 50p. Come on, let's get out of here. Let's get a coffee.
OK, but not Starbucks. I can't stand Starbucks.
Why? I like the coffee.
It's the size of the cups. They're all huge. Even the small one is too big for me. And the biggest is so big, it's enormous. And there's so much choice. Latte, skinny latte, soya latte, cappuccino, frappuccino, single shot, double shot.
OK, modern life. There's a small coffee bar around the corner. Let's go there.
Tape script 10.12. On the phone.
07700900333.
0049 021 37474.
0115 496 0499.
0800 142 2466.
Tape script 10.13.
01632 960 200.
0207 946 0558.
029 2018 0763.
0061 44 501 277.
Tape script 10.14. 1. Brian and Adam.
Sorry, Brian, you're breaking up. I couldn't hear that.
I know, Adam, it's not a good line. But listen, I'm calling because I can't make it on Thursday. Are you free on Friday?
Friday, I'm not sure. Can I get back to you?
Sure, that's fine. Text me. Speak later.
2. Adam and Carol.
Hello, Carol. It's Adam. I'm trying to get hold of Brian.
I'm afraid he's not in. Have you tried his mobile?
Yeah, I tried that first, but he's not answering.
It's probably switched off.
Can you give him a message then?
Of course.
3. Emma, Donna, Flora.
I'm afraid Brian's line's busy. Would you like to hold?
Yes, please.
It's ringing for you now.
Thank you.
Hello, Brian Doyle's office. Flora speaking.
This is Emma Smith from Digby and Moss Associates.
Oh, good morning, Miss Smith. I'll put you through immediately.
4. Flora and Carol.
Hi, Flora. Can I speak to Brian, please?
Oh, I'm afraid he has someone with him at the moment. Is it urgent?
Just tell him Carol rang and I'll see him this evening.
Will do. I hope there isn't a problem.
Unit 11. Tape script 11.1. Gareth Malone. 1.
When did he start playing the piano?
When he was 3.
2.
How long has he been playing the piano?
Since he was 3.
3.
When did he start teaching singing?
When he was 23.
4.
How long has he been teaching singing?
Since he was 23.
5.
When did he make his first TV program?
In 2007.
6.
How long has he been making TV programs?
Since 2007.
7.
How many programs has he made?
3.
8.
How long has he been living in London?
For about 30 years.
Tape script 11.2. 1.
My sister's working in New York.
How long has she been working there?
Only a couple of months.
2.
I'm training to run the marathon.
How long have you been training?
Since Christmas. Wish me luck.
3.
My boss is on holiday.
How long has he been away?
2 weeks. It's great without him.
4.
I'm learning how to drive.
How long have you been learning?
Nearly 2 years. I failed my test 3 times.
5.
I know Maria very well.
How long have you known her?
Since we were at school together.
6.
I have the new iPad.
How long have you had it?
I only got it yesterday.
Tape script 11.3. 1.
Why are the students bored?
Because the teacher's been talking for hours and they haven't understood a word.
2.
Why has he got a sore throat?
Because he's been singing too much. He's sung every night for the last 3 weeks.
3.
Why are they so tired and dirty?
Because they've been playing rugby. But they're happy because they've won the match.
4.
Why has he got backache?
Because he's been digging the garden. He's planted 6 rows of cabbages.
5.
Why is she covered in paint?
Because she's been decorating her flat. She's painted 2 walls already.
6.
Why have they got no money left?
Because they've been shopping. They've spent over £200.
Tape script 11.4. I haven't seen you for ages.
Mike, I'm over here.
Sophie, you look great. You haven't changed a bit.
Oh, I don't know. It's been over 10 years. I'm definitely older, if not wiser.
Well, you look just the same to me.
Oh.
Come on, we've got over 10 years to catch up on and not a lot of time. My plane leaves at 7 this evening.
Tell me about you first. How long have you been working in Madrid? What are you doing there?
Well, I work for a big international IT company, and at the moment I'm based in Madrid. I've been there about 18 months now.
Wow, that sounds important. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, very much. But there's a chance that I'll have to move to Germany in 3 months. That's where the headquarters are.
That sounds interesting too.
Yeah, but I have a Spanish girlfriend now.
Ah, I see. What's her name?
Rosa. You'd like her. She's great fun. We've been going out nearly a year now.
Whoa, that sounds serious. Does she speak English?
Oh, yes. Her English is much better than my Spanish. I started going to Spanish lessons 6 months ago, but I still find Spanish pronunciations really difficult.
I know.
Oh, yeah, you studied languages, didn't you?
Yes, I studied French and German at university. But I've also been trying to learn Swedish for the last few years.
Swedish? Why? Come on, now it's your turn, Sophie. Tell me about you.
Tape script 11.5.
Tell me about you.
Well, I got married a year ago to a Swedish guy, Ragnar Hansen.
Where did you meet him?
We met while I was working in Stockholm.
What were you doing there?
Well, after university, I studied fashion design, and my first job was in Sweden as a buyer for H&M Fashion.
Really? How long did you do that?
I worked there for over 3 years. Ragnar was my boss.
Ah, did you get married in Sweden?
Yes, we did. My parents came over for the wedding.
And you still work in Sweden?
No, we don't. We've both got new jobs in the UK.
Oh. How long have you been back?
About 10 months. We've been trying to buy a flat since we got back.
So, where have you been living?
With my parents. They're lovely, but it's not great. And we're expecting a baby next April, so we really need a place of our own.
Oh, congratulations. I hope you find somewhere soon. Oh, look at the time. I'll have to rush to catch my plane.
Bye, Mike. It's been great seeing you again. Let's keep in touch from now on.
Yeah, it's been great. Maybe next time you can meet Rossa and I can meet Ragnar.
Tape script 11.6. Alison's life.
I didn't marry until quite late. I met Ben when I was 30 and we didn't marry until I was 33. That was in 2006. We got married in a church near where my mum lives. I had been engaged before that to another boy, Mark. We'd been together over 10 years, since school in fact, and I think we just got bored with each other. Ben and I had a great honeymoon. We toured America. We were away for 3 weeks. And soon after that, I found I was pregnant. That was Ellen, our first baby. She was born the year after we got married, and 2 years after that, in 2009, we had the twins, Tessa and Tom. They've been keeping us busy ever since. I'm exhausted most of the time, but they're great fun. I'm really glad I married Ben. He's a great dad. I want it to be forever. My mum and dad divorced when I was just 13, and I don't want us to do that.
Tape script 11.7. Good news, bad news. 1.
My wife had a baby last night.
Congratulations! Was it a boy or girl?
A boy, William James.
How much did he weigh?
4.1 kilos.
Oh, a big boy. How are mother and baby doing?
They're fine.
Oh, that's wonderful. Give her my love when you see her.
I will do. Thanks.
2.
Alfie and I have got engaged. That's fantastic news. Congratulations. Do you like my ring? Wow, diamonds. It's beautiful. When's the wedding? We're thinking of getting married next spring. I hope I'm invited. Of course you are. I want you to be a bridesmaid. Really? I'd love that. I've never been one before.
3.
Have you heard about Bill and Josie?
No. What's happened?
Well, they've been having a tough time recently.
I know, they haven't been getting on well at all.
Well, they finally decided to split up.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. What a shame.
Yes, I always thought they were so good together.
4.
We lost Grandpa last week.
I know. Your dad told me. I'm so sorry. He was a lovely man. Everyone was really fond of him.
He and Grandma were together nearly 60 years.
That's incredible. How old was he?
88.
And how's your grandma coping?
She's okay. She's got her family around her.
Well, I'm sure you all have wonderful memories of him. Unit 12. Tape script 12.1. Real possibilities.
What are you doing this weekend?
If the weather's nice, we'll go for a picnic.
Ooh, sounds nice. Where to?
Not sure. We might go to the park, or we might go to the country.
Well, I'm sure you'll have fun.
Tape script 12.2. 1.
What are you doing this weekend?
If it's sunny, we'll go swimming.
Oh, sounds great. Where to?
Don't know. We might go to the outdoor pool, or we might go to the river.
Well, I'm sure you'll have a good time.
2.
What are you doing this weekend?
Well, if it rains, we'll go shopping.
Sounds a good idea. Where to?
Not sure. We might go to the high street, or we might go to a shopping centre.
Well, I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
3.
What are you doing this weekend?
If we have time, we'll see some friends.
Sounds good. What will you do?
Don't know. We might go to a restaurant, or we might just go to the pub.
Well, I'm sure you'll have fun.
Tape script 12.3. Going to and might. 1.
What are you going to do after school?
I don't know. I might go home, or I might go into town.
2.
Where are you going on your next holiday?
I'm not sure. I might go to Spain, or I might go to Turkey.
3.
What are you going to study at university?
I haven't decided. I might study languages, or I might study business.
4.
What are you going to buy Jane for her birthday?
I'm not sure. I might buy her a T-shirt, or I might buy her some makeup.
5.
When are you going to see your boyfriend again?
I don't know. I might see him on Friday night, or I might see him on Saturday afternoon.
Tape script 12.4. Tara and Ben. 1. Tara.
When I leave school, first I'm going to have a few weeks' holiday. I'm going to see my brother in Italy. Then I'm going to university. I'm going to study economics. If I do well at university, I'll get a good job. And if I get a good job, I'll earn lots of money. I hope so anyway.
2. Ben.
I'm not very good at decisions. I don't really know what I want to do. I might go to work for my father. He's got a shop, but that's not very interesting. Or I might go travelling with my friend James. The problem is that I don't have much money, so I might get a job in a bar or a shop and save some. I'm quite good with computers, so I might do a course in computer programming. Who knows?
Tape script 12.5. Advice, warnings, threats. 1.
If you take these pills, you'll feel better.
2.
If you eat junk food, you'll get fat.
3.
You'll fail your exams if you don't do your homework.
4.
Careful! If you touch that, you'll get an electric shock.
5.
If you don't do what I say, I'll kill you!
Tape script 12.6. Lily's dream.
I'd love a baby brother. If I had a baby brother, I would play with him all the time. We'd have a lot of fun. I'd be so happy. I wouldn't ask my mum and dad for anything else.
Tape script 12.7. Sam's dream.
I'd like to be taller. If I were taller, I'd be in the first team at rugby. And if I played really well, I'd be captain. And then, if I practiced really hard, maybe one day I could play for England. My dad would be so proud of me.
Annie's dream.
I have 2 kids. I love them, but I never have any time to myself. If I had a free weekend, I'd stay in bed all day. I'd read magazines and watch TV. Then I'd sleep all night, and my children wouldn't wake me. Oh, heaven.
Tape script 12.8. Tony's life.
Well, he's not much good at anything. He hasn't had a job since he left school, so he hasn't got any money, so he can't buy any new clothes. He never looks smart, and he doesn't know what kind of job he wants. He's not ambitious at all, so he doesn't apply for many jobs. I think the problem is that he's lazy. He doesn't get up till midday, and he doesn't shave, and he doesn't even shower often. He doesn't look good. Maybe that's why he hasn't got a girlfriend. He's useless.
Tape script 12.9. If Tony had a job.
If Tony had a job, he'd have some money. If he had some money, he could buy some new clothes. If he had some nice clothes, he'd look smarter. If he was a bit more ambitious, he would apply for more jobs. If he weren't so lazy, he'd get up before midday. If he shaved and showered more, he'd look better. If he looked better, he might get a girlfriend, and that would help him a lot.
Tape script 12.10. 1. Jimmy's problem.
Amy, can I talk to you for a minute?
Sure. What about?
Well, I've got a bit of a problem. You know, I'm in my first year at university. I'm really enjoying the course. I love what I'm doing, studying physics, but...
I was waiting for a but.
Yes, you're right. But I'm also in a band. There are 3 of us, and we've been playing together for a couple of years, and we've just got a recording contract, which is something we've been trying to get for ages.
And you can't do both? Is that it?
Absolutely. The other guys want me to drop out of university. If the record was a success, we'd go on tour. We might go to Europe for 3 months, or we might even get to America. That would be amazing.
But if you dropped out of university and the band wasn't a success, then what would you do?
Exactly, that's the problem. But if I didn't give the band a chance, I'd regret it for the rest of my life. This is our one big chance.
But if the band didn't work, you wouldn't have a career.
And my parents would go crazy. Amy, help me. What do I do?
Well, I think you should try with the band. If it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. You could always go back to university, and you might hit the big time in the music business.
2. Fiona's problem.
Jenny, you've got to help me.
What is it? Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine, but I'm having terrible boyfriend trouble.
What, with Sam? I thought you two were fine.
We are, sort of. I'm very fond of Sam. We've been going out for over a year, and we do things together, but I've met this guy at work, and he's asked me out, and I don't know what to do.
Wow, this is sudden.
Well, not really. The thing is, everyone thinks that Sam and I are a couple and we're going to get married. But for me, Sam is more like a brother. I can't marry him. If I married Sam, I'd be so unhappy. But if I broke up with him, he would be heartbroken. I don't know what he'd do.
But it sounds like you have to say something. If you don't tell him now, it might be worse later. Who's this man at work?
Well, he's really lovely. His name's Harry. He's my age and he's very good looking. We work together and it's such fun. He really makes me laugh. He isn't pushing me to go out with him, but...
But you'd really like to. I know.
And if I don't say anything to him, he might think I don't like him. So what do I do?
Well, if I were you, I wouldn't say anything to this guy at work yet. Be nice to him, but don't encourage him.
But he might go out with another girl.
If he started going out with another girl, then you'd know what sort of man he was. If he likes you, he'll wait. But you have to talk to Sam first.
Tape script 12.11. A year later. Jimmy.
Well, we made a record, and we went on tour to Japan, and the band's doing really not bad. We haven't hit the big time, but we've had 1 or 2 hits, and we're very well known in some parts of the world. We haven't been to America yet, but we hope to soon. And my parents have been okay. Well, my mother has. My father keeps saying, "When are you going to get a real job?" But he doesn't approve of anything I do, so that's nothing new. So it was the right decision.
Fiona.
Well, I told Sam, and in fact he was fine about it. He also said that he thought we were more like brother and sister. I was quite upset that he wasn't more upset. Anyway, he was all right about it. And of course all our friends said that they had seen this all along. So I broke up with Sam, and it didn't work out with Harry at all. It turned out that he was engaged to a lovely French girl, and he was just being friendly with me. So I got the situation completely wrong. Never mind, I'm single, but that's fine. I'll just see what happens.
Tape script 12.12. Note-taking. Part 1.
Generally, I am optimistic about the future. If you go back to the beginning of the 19th century, most Americans lived for about 50 years. Nowadays, life expectancy is nearly 80 years. This is because of great improvements in healthcare and technology. There's no reason why this won't continue far into the 21st century. The world has changed so much in the last 20 years. We have DNA, microchips, and the Internet. We must teach people to use this new technology. I believe that one day everybody will have computers and access to the Internet. For over 2,000 years we have tried to understand our environment. Now we are beginning to control it as well. We are learning how to control the weather, and one day we'll learn to control earthquakes and volcanoes. Eventually, illness and disease will not exist because we will build new body parts, new livers, kidneys, hearts, lungs, like spare parts for a car. People say world population is an increasing problem, but if people become more educated and richer, they won't need or want to have so many children, and the population of many countries will decrease. I believe that one day there will be a world government because the resources of the world will have to be managed at a global level. We need to make global decisions. We already have a world language called English, and there is now a worldwide communication system called the Internet.
Tape script 12.13. Part 2.
I do have some reasons to be pessimistic. I think people will remain fundamentally the same. There will always be stupid people as well as intelligent people. There will always be cruel people who want to fight and wage wars. There will be people who don't understand that we have to look after our world, our forests, our oceans, our atmosphere. There will certainly always be people who think that money is everything. We have the technology, but we need the wisdom to go with it.
Tape script 12.14. Prepositions. 1.
It wasn't an accident. She broke it on purpose.
2.
What's for dinner? I'm starving.
3.
He isn't in the office this week. He's away on business.
4.
When you go, keep in touch with me via email.
5.
Transport workers are on strike for better pay.
6.
I don't need other people. I like being by myself.
Tape script 12.15. Thank you and goodbye. 1.
Well, it's late. I must be going now. Thank you so much for a lovely evening.
My pleasure.
And the food was delicious.
I'm glad you liked it. I hope you get home all right. Bye.
Bye, and thanks again.
2.
Thank you so much. It was so kind of you.
That's all right.
I'm so grateful for all your help.
Don't mention it.
Would you mind helping me with just one more thing?
Of course not. No problem.
3.
I hope you have a good flight. Who's meeting you?
My sister, Sarah.
Remember to give her my love.
Will do. Okay, it's boarding. I have to go now. Bye.
Right. Look after yourself. Bye.
4.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed staying with you.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure. Come back and see us again sometime.
That's very kind. Maybe next year.
That would be lovely.
Five.
Have a safe journey.
Thanks. I'll text you when I arrive.
Say hello to your parents from me.
I will. Oh, the train's leaving.
Okay, bye. Take care.
See you soon. Bye.
Six.
Goodbye. And thanks for everything. It was great fun.
I really enjoyed being your teacher.
We learned such a lot with you.
Thank you. Good luck with your English. Keep practicing.
We will.